ChronicallyMeT. My name is Talana and this is my YouTube channel. I'm here to share stories about my life and my health, especially some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Today I'm going to talk about my ostomy and what led for me to getting the surgery, as well as down the road we'll talk about how I have learned to manage that ostomy amongst this past year. I think this video is very fitting because when it's posted in a couple days, it'll be Squirt's birthday. So Squirt is the name of my stoma. I'll introduce you to him another time, and just wish him a happy birthday in the comments below. Happy birthday, Squirt, January 25th. If you haven't seen my last video about how I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, go check it out. The link I'll post down below. And that's the story of what got me diagnosed. I got diagnosed in 2012 and I didn't get my ostomy until 2021. So I had Crohn's for quite some time before I even got my surgery. When I was diagnosed, they kind of started talking about surgery at that time because we had no other options. But since then I hadn't needed any surgeries, so we just tried medications first. I tried a lot of medications. Because the medications I was taking either started working and stopped working or didn't even start working in the first place, I had no choice left. I kept going back into the hospital. My GI team kept putting me back onto prednisone, and that is not a good drug to be on. So I'm gonna fast forward into my life to the middle of 2020. It was the summertime and I started having some issues with my rectum. I'll post some pictures here for you for reference. Your rectum is at the bottom of your digestive tract and it leads to the anus and the anal opening. And what I had was a skin tag, is what I thought it was, at the end there, and it was kind of bothering me. Lots of doctors thought it were hemorrhoids, so I was getting treated as such because it was quite painful. My family doctor referred me to a colorectal surgeon to get this skin tag removed. I didn't know until I seen my surgeon that this skin tag was actually the least of my worries. The pain that I'd been having was not from it. It was actually from what's called a fissure. So I was getting anal fissures and anal fistulas. So I'll show some clip art here about a fissure. It's just a cut in your skin, and fistulas are actually tunnels that go through your skin. So my fistulas were not huge, but I had a lot of them. So my surgeon went in and repaired those fistulas in July of 2020. It did take some pain away, but ultimately the fistulas were not able to fully heal, and I kept getting more and more in my rectum and my anus. And it felt like I was pooping razor blades. It did not feel good at all. My butt hurt so bad to the point where I couldn't even sit half of the time. Standing was hard. And because it's around the sphincter at the end of the opening, I started to lose the ability to control my bowels. So every time I squeezed, it would be very painful, so I didn't want to squeeze, but because my Crohn's was still not doing so hot, I would still have diarrhea, so I'd have accidents. And as a 25, 26-year-old, accidents are embarrassing. I'm an adult. I feel that I should not be having accidents, and this is a red flag. So I went back to my surgeon, and he had a look at it. This time he didn't want to put me in too much pain in the office, and he couldn't really get a good visual, and he said, it looks like your Crohn's is active in your anus, so I'm gonna need to look at this and see if I can do anything. But ultimately, if I can't do anything, the only way to cure this pain that you're feeling is to remove the disease. But the only way to remove the disease in this case would be to sew up your rectum and giving you an ostomy bag. So I knew at some point ostomy surgery was going to be in my outlook. I kind of thought when I was in grade 12, 17 that I would have it when I was like 60 years old or 80, just for the fact of having such a severe Crohn's disease at a young age that I didn't really have many medication choices and started running out quickly, that ostomy surgery might have had to have been an option for me. It's not something I completely turned away, but it's not something I really wanted. I wanted to have hope in my medication, hope in the new technologies coming out, that there was going to be a cure for Crohn's. So hearing this from my surgeon a few years later, it wasn't a shock. It kind of made me realize, okay, this is something that is happening a little earlier than I expected, probably in the next couple years. Because he can go look at it at this next surgical appointment, and maybe he'll fix it up and give me some more time to prepare. So I had my second fissure repair surgery. I thought he was going to repair and try and fix what was there, but it turned out that he wasn't able to do anything. He looked at the area and he called it a watering can. And if you can picture, a watering can has all the holes at the top of the spout. It's basically what my anus looked like. Not a pretty sight for him, and he felt very bad because there's nothing that he could have done in that time. So I ended up getting admitted to the hospital. They needed to do a colonoscopy just to make sure that my Crohn's was actually in fact active before removing my whole colon, because you don't want to remove healthy tissue if there's nothing wrong with it. So the GIs at the hospital I got diagnosed at, there's a group of 6 GIs or so, and they all work as a team. I trust them all. They all know me very well. And one of them came into the room and said, you know what, your Crohn's is moderately active. It's up to you if you want to have your colon removed. But I ultimately wanted to make sure that I got the okay from the GI, because my healthcare team is a whole. It involves my family doctor, my GIs, my surgeon, my naturopath. It involves everybody. So I want to make sure everyone was on board, and I got everyone's opinions before making a very important decision. At the time, I just had my colon removed. So I had from the end of my small bowel, which is called the ileum, all the way down until my rectum removed. So your whole colon. I had in January about 6 inches of my rectum left, which you're thinking, oh my God, that's huge, but your colon's all shrunk up. If you were to stretch your whole colon out, it'd be very long. So it's all shrunk up, and it's just at the end of my bowel. I had that left down into the anal canal. So they closed that off and just gave me an opening in my stomach that I have an external bag, and my poop empties into my bag. Squirt was born. So I call Squirt is my stoma, and that's who he is right here on my right side. So after my big ostomy surgery in January, I had recovery to go through. This was my first major surgery. The other ones I had were only 30 minutes long, and this one was an hour and a half. And I was in the hospital for a few days, and the surgeon team said, you know what, your disease is in the rectum, most likely that'll have to get removed. The only way to fix that is to close it out completely. But my GI team did say that maybe if your rectum has nothing going through it and your anus has time to heal, rest, and just let the disease chill out, then there's a chance that I can get my intestine from my small bowel all the way down to my rectum reattached. So that was something that was an option. I knew that it didn't really matter to me what we ended up doing in the end. My quality of life was so important. I was coming up to having pain and suffering for 10 years on and off, and I was just ready to have an option that's given me a better life. And so that's why I'm here on this YouTube channel. I want to advocate for anybody who's living with a chronic illness, whether it's Crohn's disease or something else. I know we're not the same. Even me having Crohn's, sitting next to another patient who has Crohn's. So whether you have that illness or you have something else, whether you have an ostomy, I want to show that it's not a bad thing. I understand that some people have really bad experiences, or maybe didn't suffer as long as me and had to go through such a huge loss in their life, and that's okay. I'm here to support you. either way, whether you're getting a reversal or you're living with your ostomy till you die. It's something to be cherished however you cherish it. So stay tuned for some videos. I am going to post lots of tips and tricks when it comes to my ostomy bag because it's been almost a year. Like I mentioned earlier, happy birthday to Squirt on the 25th. I'm finally figuring it out at this point. So it does take some time to be patient, and I know that I'm still learning. I never stop learning, and I'm continuing to learn. I really appreciate you taking the time to watching my videos, and please comment in below your stories and questions, comments and concerns, all of the above. I'm here for you. I have so much love for you. If you're not comfortable commenting, you can message me on Instagram at ChronicallyMeT, and I'm more than happy to talk to you on there. I have social media. I'm doing some fun TikToks just to do some fun. So I really appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll see you guys later. Bye.